Hey, what's up guys? So like I told you in the last video, I'm going to take you through the unboxing of all of this vinyl that I purchased. Man, there's so much cool stuff. This is just going to be probably the first of about 3 parts, maybe, or 4, because there's hundreds of records. But I went ahead and separated out a lot of the rock and roll stuff, and I'm going to take you through that. It's going to take a little bit, but I hope you enjoy it. All kinds of cool bands and titles, from the Rolling Stones and the Beatles to Neil Diamond, Neil Young. Lord, I don't know, golly, there's so much of the psychedelic era too, a lot of rare stuff, a lot of stuff I hadn't even heard of until I started unboxing. Of course, I've already mentioned a lot of these people, whether it be like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, but also like Grand Funk Railroad. It's just so many. So just jump in there with me and let's take a look at what we've got. We'll also discuss a little bit about comps. I have comped out this portion, but I've still got so much to do. So first of all, just let me give you a look at the table here. So these stacks, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and these two, I have comped out, as well as this. Now all of this stuff, okay, double stacks back there, guys. Maybe you can see that. I still got to do every bit of that. So let's jump on into this. I will first tell you the estimated list value of the stack combined, and then we'll go through them kind of one at a time and take a look at the various titles. And hopefully you'll see some things you like, some things that you find interesting, and we can learn some more about them together, just like I've learned as I've worked on this. So let's take a look. All right, so this first stack that we're going to go over, this is valued, list value, at somewhere around $1,750. And I know that condition is everything. As we go through all of these, the condition of the sleeve, the condition of the record, I found that the majority of the records are in good to very good, well, really very good to excellent condition. There are a few that are going to be on the good side. I may even have a few that I can list as near mint. They're that nice, and but the sleeves are not as good on a lot of them. They're going to probably be in the good to very good range at best on a lot of these. But there's some of them that are in the shrink as well. So this first one is Strawberry Alarm Clock. This comes out at $20 to $25. This next one, the Baroques. This is a good example of a really rare record. I didn't know nothing about this, but this one's harder to find. It comes out at $100 to $125. It's a good one to put on your BOLO list. I would have never have thought to pick that up if I was out in town. This next one is Supertramp. This comes out at about $15. This is the Paris Live album. Then we have Queen Greatest Hits. That's about 15 bucks. We have Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs, Wooly Bully, about $15. We have the New Colony 6, and I pulled out almost everything. There wasn't many, maybe like 20 records that were like $5 or less, with the exception being those that I could put together with others of the same title. So both of these are New Colony 6. This one is Attacking a Straw Man, and it comes at 15. This one here, of course, it has some damage on the sleeve, but it comes out at 5. But I'll put those two together in one listing, so that's why I had that one still in there. Here we have the Ides of March by Vehicle. This is $10 to $15, and I put that in a place you can't really see. It's a kind of a creepy baby doll there on the front, but anyway. Then I have the Greg Allman Tour. This is, I think, a double album, and it's about $10. We have the American Breed, Bend Me, Shape Me, which is $10 to $15. That one, I think, yeah, it still has the shrink on it. Then we have It's a Beautiful Day, and again, just use little sticky notes. This is $10 to $15. We have, this is kind of a rare album too. This is the group Love. I think this was maybe their only album. But this one comes out at around 60 bucks. It is the gold label version, so it's the first edition of this, first release or run, printing, pressing, whatever you want to call it. But the gold label makes it more valuable, so 60 bucks on this one. Then we have 10cc, the Greatest Hits, 72 to 78, $15. We have Wings. This is the pre-Paul McCartney Wings, so $15 to $20 on this one, still in the shrink, very nice condition. Record itself's in great condition too. We have the Belmonts. This is Belmont's original hits, I think, or Carnival hits, sorry. Belmont's Carnival of Hits, $10 on that. The sleeve on this is in really rough shape, but this is TIME, or Time, $25, self-titled. This one could be worth a lot more if that sleeve was in better shape, but that's all right. And then this is another really rare psychedelic era, as the last one was. Psychedelic, not era, but psychedelic rock. This is Captain Beyond, and this costs for $20 to $25. And you can see the hologram. Of course, again, the sleeve on this one has some issues, and there's nothing much I can do about that. It's just the way it is. All right, next we have the talking heads, and that $8.99 is only on the plastic protector. $25 to $30 on this one. It stopped making sense. I think that was a film, actually, so this is kind of like a soundtrack, but that is a booklet that comes with it. So this was a special edition, and it still got the hype sticker on it. That's pretty cool. We have Alice Cooper, $10, Lace and Whiskey. Not a super valuable album for Alice Cooper, but a cool one. We have Frank Zappa, Apostrophe, $15. We have Genesis. This is Rock Roots, $10. We have Jim Croce, $15 for You Don't Mess Around with Jim, which includes Time in a Bottle. And then I have this. These aren't worth as much. This is like a made in Hong Kong, I think, or China, something like that. But these are not as valuable. It's like a paper sleeve. But still, this is I Got a Name for $7. I'll put this with this one in order to move it a little faster. You also see oftentimes on these old records, when they were sold at a record store, they would use like a grease marker, and sometimes that comes off really well, and sometimes it leaves a shadow or a residue like you see on this one. So next up we have Roy Orbison, and this is just $5, but I included this because one, I like Roy Orbison, but two, because it is a promotional record. So this one was not ever for sale. These are usually more valuable, but this is just not a really high demand record. Being a greatest hits album, it's just not as valuable. But oftentimes you need to watch out for those, because that can have a significant impact on the value of a record. Next up, we have the Mamas and the Papas. This is If You Can Believe Your Eyes and Ears. Now, there's a version of this album you want to watch out for that shows a toilet right here. This one was the one that was edited or whatever, you know, so there was issue with that and the way it looked, so they made them change the cover. But if you find one of these that still has the toilet visible, then it's going to be much more valuable. This one is $25 to $30. Still a good record. And then we have Elton John, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. This is in very good condition. $60 on that. A lot of these are first pressings. This one is the band, The Last Waltz. The Last Waltz by the band. I know you saw me holding that by the corner. That wasn't very smart. But this is about $40. And this includes people like, this is why this is valuable. You've got Eric Clapton, Neil Diamond, Bob Dylan, Emmylou Harris, Joni Mitchell, Van Morrison, Ringo Starr, Muddy Waters, Neil Young, just to name a few that are on here, part of that record. Then this is a really cool album. This is The Doors' LA Woman. I wish the sleeve was in a little better condition, but you'll see it's got the, what do you call this, the die cut, and this is like a film print over the top of that plastic there. So it's got the yellow behind it. Really cool record. Anyway, this one is $50 to $60. Really awesome album there. Then we have the Bee Gees first, and this is the first album, and it's a first pressing. $25 to $30 on that one for the Bee Gees. We have Dr. Hook for $10. We have, now this is a super rare record. I'm not sure even still on how to value this one, but this is The Growing Concern, their first album. This is a first pressing of the album. This is a very rare and hard to find album, and I had to go to Terapeak, and from what I can tell, depending on condition, this can run over $1,000. It can also be $500 to $700. I think mine falls somewhere in the middle, so I'm thinking this is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $700 to $1,000. If you're not familiar with The Growing Concern and this particular album, keep your eyes open. It is definitely one that you want to snag if you ever see it out in the wild. Next up, we have Sugarloaf. This is, of course, their self-titled album, and it's $15 to $20 comp on that. We have Rod McCune, I think is how you say his name, but this is Seasons in Seasons in the Sun. And this again is about a $10 record is all, but it's a promotional copy, so it makes it more valuable, and so it was worth pulling out because of that. Next we have Marmalade or Marmalade. I don't know, it depends on how you choose to say it, I guess. In the South, we say marmalade, but I've heard a lot of others say marmalade. So this Reflections of My Life, $30 on this one is the comp. We have Jethro Tull, really awesome record here too. This is Lord have mercy, the original master recording, which a lot of times too, if you ever see this at the top of an album, it tends to increase the value somewhat, at least on the more desirable records. So watch out for that original master recording. And this one comes out at 100 to 150 bucks. Then we have the Electric Prunes Underground, comes at $25. And we have Cat Stevens comping out at $14, Greatest Hits. And we have Wishbone Ash comping out at $10. This is a double live album. And again, this comes out at about $10. All right, so that stack is in the neighborhood of $1,750. And a big reason for that is that one record by The Growing Concern, because it, by itself represents $750 to $1,000. Again, I gave $2,500 for this entire collection, not only what I've comped, but everything I still have yet to comp. So at this point, I have no growing concern about whether or not I'll make back my money or whether or not I will be able to make a good profit. Because even if this stuff sells for half of what I've got it comped at, each of these stacks, I'm still in great shape. Because I didn't mention this, but just the stacks that I showed you at the beginning, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 stacks that I'm going to go through with you on this video. They comp out at over $7,000, and I've got $2,500 invested. So if I get, half to 2/3 of that, let's just say I get 2/3 of that $7,000, that's going to be what? $5,000 roughly, because it's over 7 it comps out at. So maybe, $4,800, and that's going to pay for what I spent and make a decent profit already out of the gate, because that's going to be close, not quite, but close to doubling my money. And I really think I'll more than double up just on these stacks that I've comped so far. Let's take a look at the next group. All right, so this stack comps out at $450. And we're going to start with 3 copies of Iron Butterfly, and this is Inagata da Vida, I guess. I've never listened. I don't know how they say it in the song, but each of these comp out for $10 to $20. It all depends on condition. 2 of them I got at 10. This one is in the shrink, the one on top with the hype sticker, so I got it at about 20. So anyway, that's a pretty good little set there. Then we have The Who, and there's 2 or 3 of these. These didn't comp as high as I hoped that they would, but this one is, I don't know, meaty beady, big and bouncy. Maybe I'm saying that right, I don't know, but $10 here. We have The Hooligans, The Who, $10 there. We have Matt on Tour, The Magic Bust, The Who, and that's $10. So those 3 combined are about 30 bucks, and that's probably what I'll do is put those together in a lot. So then we have Three Dog Night. This one comes at 75 to 100 because it is still sealed, at least mostly. The seal is broken up here at this area, but this is 7 Separate Fools. It's a pretty good album. So that one again, 75 to $100. So the next album is also Three Dog Night. This is a promotional album, $125 comp. Golden Biscuits is the title of this one. Then we have Vanilla Fudge, this near the beginning, $15. Another Vanilla Fudge. This is their self-titled, I believe. Let me make sure. Yes, self-titled, and there are 2 copies of this. Each of these are going to be in the $10 to $15 range. We also have Vanilla Fudge, The Beat Goes On, $10. And then CCR, one of my favorites. I hate that it's written on up here. It's also got a punch or drill hole up at the top right corner. But this comes at 15 to 20. It's the 1969 album. Then we have, this one is again CCR, $12. I forget what this is, Bayou Country. I should know that. I've seen this several times out in town. Passed on it a time or 2 cause of condition. Cover on this could be better, but the record itself's in great shape, but $12 comp. Then we have Cosmos Factory, $15. And most likely on these CCRs, I'll put all those together as well into a lot. Then we have Canned Heat. This is Canned Heat Cookbook, the best of Canned Heat, $15 on that one. We have Shades of Deep Purple, $15. There is a name up here. You find that happens a lot on these old albums. There will be a name on the front, the back. Sometimes it's written on the inside of the cover. Watch for that. They'll even write it on the label of the record itself when you slide it out of the sleeve. So you got to check all those things. And this is a really good record here. Leonard Skinner, Street Survivors. This comes out at $40 to $50. So again, that stack is $450. Next stack, well, let me do these. So next up, I'm going to show you these. These are actually pretty rare. This is Buckingham Nicks. And if you're familiar with Fleetwood Mac, you know that both Stevie Nicks and Buckingham, both of these guys were members of Fleetwood Mac. They made this album before joining Fleetwood Mac. They joined at the same time, pretty much. And that's really what caused Fleetwood Mac to explode. Thank you, Grumpy Picker, for helping me with that history on these. But that made this a really valuable album, and it's been out of print for a while. So these value at $70 to $150 each, depending on condition. And the condition does vary on these from one to another, but again, I estimate that all of these together are about $500, guys, and there are, I think it's 5 copies of this. So I just went somewhere in the middle and said, okay, let's say $100 each on average. It could be that I get more than that, but we'll just see how it goes. So there's 1 copy, 2 copies. This one is one of the ones I might get $150. It's still in the shrink. 3rd copy. 4th copy, and 5th copy. This one's also very nice. Even though it's not in the shrink, it is in very, very good condition. So that one might be closer to that 150 mark as well. So again, just crazy value here, possibly $500 for those 5 records. All right, so next up, this stack is going to come out at around $610. It's a pretty big stack. I'm going to try to go through them quickly so we don't take. All right, this next stack comes out at $610, and I'm going to try to go quickly. It's a pretty large stack. A lot of these are just, medium prices. I'm going to group a lot of these together based on artists and things like that. This first one, however, is Grand Funk Railroad Shining On, and it is $25 comp. The glasses are included, the 3D glasses and the poster. Really awesome album there. Again, about $25. Then we have Mark Dunn and Mel, 69 to 71, which of course this is still Grand Funk, comes out at about $10. The CD for this is actually more valuable than the actual record is, but this also includes the poster, which I thought was really awesome. We want to unfold it all, but it's there. It doesn't have holes in it either, so that always helps if it comes with the contents. Next we have Grand Funk On Time, $10 comp. We have Rod Stewart, Gasoline Alley for $5. Now, the only reason I left this in here is because we not only have Rod Stewart, but we also have the Rod Stewart album at $10, and we have a couple of albums of Faces, which he was the lead singer in. So we have Rod Stewart. This is A Nod Is As Good As a Wink from Faces at $30. And then we have Faces Lone Player Twin, TWEN, and this again about $25. And this is the German copy, the German pressing, which gives it a little more value, but I'll probably lot all 4 of those together into one listing. Then we have Jefferson Starship. Of course, we had Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, all the same band, just different iterations of their name. This is a picture album. I wish it was worth more, but it's only about $5. It does have a saw mark up here, but it's in really good shape. And we also have Jefferson Airplane. This is After Bathing at Baxter, and this also is a German pressing. Gives it a little bit of value difference, but the sleeve is kind of rough shape. So $10 to $15. I'll probably put these together for $20 and just see what happens. I'll see if I can move them together. Then we have Moby Grape. This is a good album to look for, also kind of a rare album and has good value, $50 to $60. And I've got 2 copies. This one is the better of the 2. This one comes at around $100. It's a little bit earlier pressing. They're both like first year, the year it was released, but this is one of the earlier runs. So again, about $100 on that. We have Sunshine Company, 2 albums, $15 to $20. Again, Sunshine Company. This is self-titled, I think, and well, I said $15 to $20. That's for the 2 of them together. So we'll see. About $15 probably is what the listing will be. Okay, so then we have American Graffiti. This is a really cool album. It folds out like this, which I thought was pretty cool too. It's $20 on that one. Then we have the Super Sessions, Bloomfield, Cooper, and Stills. This is going to be combined with the Blues Project live at Cafe Go-Go, and then we have also the Blues Project, and this is Best of the Blues Project. This includes Bloomfield and Cooper, by the way, both of those do. And so that's kind of a lot of those artists, and that'll sell for about $20, I think, if I lot those together. None of those are extraordinarily great by themselves. Then I have a set of 3 by Johnny Rivers. We have Poor Side of Town, and then we have At the Whiskey A Go-Go, and then we have Meanwhile Back at the Whiskey A Go-Go. All three of these Johnny Rivers together, about 30 bucks as a lot. Then I have Neil Diamond. This is Sweet Caroline, and about $15 on this one. I believe that's the German pressing as well. We have Moods for $5. We have Do It for $5. These are all Neil Diamond. We have this one still in the shrink, so it's valued a little more, but they did write their booger name on it right there. I hate that they did that. This is also a cool label. It's called Bang Records, but this one 25 to 30, and then there's two of these, $5 to $10 each. I'll probably lot all of these together except one of the greatest hits. And then we also have the Jazz Singer at $10. All these again are Neil Diamond. So I'll lot all the Neil Diamonds together for one lot minus the one greatest hits. Then we have these Woodstock albums. These are good ones to watch for as well. They got decent value if they're in good shape. These could be better for the sleeves, but the albums themselves are great. This one, Woodstock 2, this is also a promotional copy, so it's got that promotional sticker on it. Again, watch for those. This one is going to comp probably around 75. There's not a lot of good comps available, but if you go into Terapeak, you can find some promos that are sold for that high. So I'm going to shoot for 75. The records are in absolute great condition. 30 on this one. This is the first Woodstock, and this is, I think, music that was not included maybe. This is music from the film. And Woodstock 2, the one over here, was music not included in the film. So again, between the two of those, may lot those together for $100. Then we have Bruce Springsteen, the E Street Band. This is the box set, live. It's 5 LPs, 75 to 85. About 20 bucks is all on that. They just don't have a huge value. I've sold the box set of CDs on that before. We got 20 bucks on this. This is a cool shrink wrap copy, first pressing with the hype sticker of Born in the USA. Then we have another set of the box set for 20 bucks. So how about we take a look at some Rolling Stones. This stack of Rolling Stones comes, I believe, in the neighborhood of $500 to $550. So this one is Exile on Main Street. Again, the only thing that's hurting me on these is the condition of the sleeves are not fantastic on them. I mean, they're not horrible. They could be better though. So if they were better, I'd have a lot more value. But anyway, $30 to $35 on this one. This one is 15 to 20. This is Between the Buttons. Rolling Stones Between the Buttons, and you can see down here, okay? Then we have Rolling Stones Tattoo You. $15 to $20 on this one. That's a really cool cover. We have the Rolling Stones Big Hits. This one's gonna be $40 to $60. 40 to 60 bucks. I think this is a German pressing on this one. Yeah, this is German pressing. We have Rolling Stones Let It Bleed. This is gonna be about 35 bucks. We have Rolling Stones. This is Some Girls, and this one is going to be in the $150 to $200 range. This is a really, really awesome because it is the original master recordings. This is going to be a really, really good record to sell. And then I also have two copies of Sticky Fingers. This first one, the cover is actually probably in better shape other than missing the zipper, but it is what it is. I might get like 50 for this one. And then this one is a promotional copy, but man, the cover is just bad. It's got water staining over here. It's got a lot of wear. The record itself is great, but the zipper's there. Everything works right. Everything looks good overall, but about $200 I think on this, simply because it's rare. If it was in great shape, I might be looking at $350 or $400, but I'm pretty sure because of all this damage, I may price it up and see what happens. But I want to be careful not to get any bad feedback, you know, because I'm trying to make it something that's not. So about $200 on that one. Still a really good group of records there. And like I said, $500 to $550 total on that set. All right, so hopefully I haven't bored you to death. By the way, if you don't know, my name is Josh. I'm Bama Jaybird Resale. If you're enjoying the video, would you go ahead and smash that like button? If you haven't already subscribed, I invite you to subscribe. My content varies, but it's always about buying and selling and reselling to some degree. Sometimes I'm picking, sometimes I'm unboxing, sometimes I'm giving instructional content. It just depends on the day. Sometimes it's what's sold. But I hope you're enjoying this one. This is probably going to be relevant to a lot of people that aren't in reselling. So if you see something you like, let me know in the comments. I love to read the comments. I know I've been behind on responding, but we've been very, very busy. Had a lot going on in life, but I'm really excited to share all of this with you, even though it's going to take several videos to do it. So this is step one, and this video is already longer than I expected. So I'll cut it down as much as possible. Probably not going to be super short. So let's jump back in. We have Van Morrison. Okay, this stack is going to be about $565 total comp value. So we have Van Morrison. That's going to be about $50. We have Van Morrison Moondance. Oh, that was Tupelo Honey, by the way. Then we have Moondance. That's going to be about 40 bucks. And we have Van Morrison, his band, and the street choir. This is about $10. So those three comp out pretty good. All right, then we got some really cool Jimi Hendrix albums. This one is still got a shrink wrap on it, which we'll say about 50 bucks. This is the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Axis Bold as Love. And so that's 50 bucks. We got probably 15 to 20 on this one. It's the Gold Record Award version of this particular album, and it is the Band of Gypsies. Again, 15 to $20 on that one. We have Jimi Hendrix Smash Hits, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, so $10 on this one, and another copy of it, another $10. We also have Jimi Hendrix Experience. This one is We also have Jimi Hendrix Experience, Are You Experience. This one is going to be around 30 bucks. Again, condition on the sleeves is hurting me on value for some of these. Then we have this set. This is going to be albums that are relating to or are Eric Clapton. So some of these don't have as big a value individually, but I will be lotting these up. So this is John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, I think was the name of their band. But Eric Clapton played with these guys for about a year, and he's on both of these records. There's two of them. This one comes at about $10, and this one, Back to the Roots, also comes. This is Through the Years, and then Back to the Roots also comes about $5. And again, yeah, the Blues Breakers with John Mayall and Clapton is on both of these. He also played, or actually Clapton helped to form, Derek and the Dominoes. They only lasted for about a year. $15 to $20 on this album. This is a little bit more rare. It's a really cool album. So again, that's the Clapton. And then we have Ginger Baker. Ginger Baker was the drummer, if I remember right. This is also a promotional copy, by the way. The drummer for Cream, I believe it was. And so if you know Eric Clapton, he was also one of the founding members of Cream. 20 bucks on that one. And then we have Cream, let's see, hard to read upside down. Goodbye. So $10 a comp on that. And we have Cream Live, $5 to $10. Again, here's one of those grease marks on this. Won't come off, right on his rear end. I mean, come on now. So $5 to $10 on that. Then we have Eric Clapton self-titled solo album, $5 to $7. And we have Eric Clapton Crossroads box set. This is 6 LPs, 60 bucks on that. So I'll probably lot all of this Eric Clapton stuff together into one. If I do separate it, it'll be this from the rest, and I'll put the rest together. Cream, Derek and the Dominoes, and the Clapton stuff, and then, of course, the Mayall, all that together, because Clapton plays on all those albums. Then we have Big Brother and the Holding Company. This is featuring Janis Joplin. Some of the albums of this release have this on here, some do not. This one comes at $10 to $15. This one does not have Janis Joplin on it. She's on here, but she's not named specifically. This is going to be $25 to $30 because this is an earlier pressing, and this one's even better. It's got better color, but they wrote on the stupid thing, man. Who's going to do their edition on top of their album? That's just so stupid. But anyway, it's also got the shrink on it, so I just don't understand. I imagine that the writing is on the shrink, so hopefully I can get that off if I'm careful. But again, those are going to come out at $25 to $30 a piece. Then we have Janis Joplin in concert. That's about $30 to $35 bucks. We have Mitch Ryder. This is Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels. But this one is going to be, well, I didn't comp these individually. So just say about $10 a piece. There are 4 of these. We got Mitch Ryder, all the hits. And then we have Breakout, Mitch Ryder, Detroit Wheels. And then we have Mitch Ryder, Socket to Me. Again, Detroit Wheels. And finally, we have Take a Ride. And these 4 together will be about 40 bucks. So just a good little lot of Mitch Ryder if you like him. Then we have Neil Young. This is After the Gold Rush, about 12 bucks on that one. We have Harvest for about 25. That's a good album. We have Neil Young, let's see, I think this is self-titled. Yes, the self-titled album, Neil Young, $20. I love the artwork on this one. Really good artwork. Pretty good cover. This one's got damage, this sleeve does, but still an awesome album. Comes a Time is the name of this one, $5 on that. All these Neil Young. And then here is Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Deja Vu. This is a really awesome album as well, $10 on that one. All right, so this stack is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $400 to $450. It's actually not the whole stack, but down to where the Beatles start, the Beatles and the various singles from the Beatles artists like, you know, Lennon and Harrison and the different ones, some McCartney. But $50 to $70 on this album. This is Led Zeppelin Physical Graffiti. It's in great shape. Everything works on it and it's complete. So $50 to $70 on that one. Then we have another Led Zeppelin. This one comes at $60 to $70. We have Led Zeppelin 3, $50 to $75. Most of these are all first pressings. The wheel does work in this, by the way. That's something to check for. Sometimes it'll be stuck, but this one is free moving. Well, it was. It gets sticky, I think, when it sets. There it goes. It was just barely stuck, but it works. $50 to $75. We have Pink Floyd. This is Dark Side of the Moon, and $100. Does have the poster, both posters. We have Grateful Dead. This is Europe 72, I think is the title of this one. Yeah, Europe 72. The sleeve on this is in really bad shape. It's really rough, but still get about $40 for that. We have Pink Floyd, The Wall. Okay, so this one's somewhere around $80. Pink Floyd, The Wall, again, first pressings. We have Grateful Dead, American Beauty. I think $25 to $30 on this. Again, the sleeve is very rough, but still an awesome album. All right, so this is our last set. This is all Beatles or Beatles related albums. So there's quite a stack here, guys. I was really just overwhelmed by this. If I've got this comped out correctly, we're somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,200 to $2,300 at least. And that's not taking the high side of stuff. That's just, you know, doing due diligence. So I got first got a couple of 45s of John Lennon. This one is John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Starting Over, Kiss, Kiss, Kiss. It's a 45, still sealed. That one I'm thinking maybe like $5 to $10 each on these. And then we have this one, Watching the Wheels, and Yes, I'm Your Angel. So both of those, we'll put those together probably. Then we have the Concert for Bangladesh, which was an endeavor of George Harrison. This is a lot of cool artists, but a lot of George Harrison on this. So anyway, not going to go into great detail. $25 the comp on that. We have John Lennon live in New York City. That's going to be about $25. All right, so we have George Harrison, All Things Must Pass. This is a box set. Again, about $80 on that. Then we have the Capitol version of the Magic Mystery Tour. Really cool cover on this one. This is, again, the Beatles, and $150 is the comp on this one. $150 on that one. We have the German pressing of the White Album, $50 to $75 on that. We have this one. This is without the book, but this vinyl is perfect. So we're going to say minimum $200, maybe even $300 on this version of the Magic Mystery Tour. And these, both of these Magic Mystery Tours, let's see, wait. This Magic Mystery Tour is the German pressing, which they say is the best one made of this particular album. That's the one that's most sought after. Then we have John Lennon, the original master recording for Imagine. This is about $100. We have George Harrison. This is Living in the Material World, about $35 on that one. Show you the cool part of it. Really cool. Cool cover. We have John Lennon here. This is Mind Games, a really awesome album here for $20. We have John Lennon Double Fantasy, and we have 2 copies of this, and they are about $15 each. We have John Lennon Shaved Fish. This is about $25. That's John Lennon, the Plastic Ono Band. Then we have a really awesome album here. This is the Beatles, Hey Jude, and this is about $45. We have the Beatles Revolver. It does have a name stamped on it, but $50 to $75 on this one. Again, awesome, awesome stuff here. We have another copy of the White Album. This one's in the $80 to $100 range. The Beatles, the White Album. Just a really cool. And then here we have another copy of the White Album. $80 to $100 on that one as well. Then we have Rubber Soul, $40 to $50. Then we have Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, so the Beatles. And this one is going to be, this is the German copy, Horzus, so this is going to be somewhere in the $60 to $75 range. We have the Beatles Help, about $75 on that one. We have the Abbey Road album. This is going to be around 30 bucks. This is the orange label. Labels matter. Every label tells a different story, different place that it was pressed, different place in the series of pressing, so they all vary in value. Let It Be, 40 bucks. And I'm by no means an expert, by the way, on all this stuff, but I've had to do a lot of research and I'm still learning. This one is the Beatles. This is a German club pressing. And it still got the shrink wrap on, though the shrink wrap is kind of damaged a little bit. But this is 1972. It's the first press. There's only one comp for this album, and it's on Terapeak, and it's sold for $150. So that's what I'm going to shoot for on this album. Hard to find Beatles album right there. Then we have the Beatles, The World's Best. This is about 50 bucks. Again, this is a German pressing. We have the Beatles Greatest. This is a Sweden Parlophone. This is about $20. We have Introducing the Beatles. This is debut album, so $175 on that. That's the comp, still in some shrink wrap there. Then we have, again, here, Introducing the Beatles. And this one, even though with a little water damage, maybe $175 on that again. These are really valuable albums. $125 on this one. It does have damage to the sleeve, but the album itself is great condition. Then we have, again, Introducing the Beatles, 40 bucks. And it all depends on the version, guys. Which pressing, which version, which label. It varies so much. This is Meet the Beatles. This one's going to be about 30 bucks. We have another copy of Meet the Beatles. This one's going to be in the neighborhood of $75. Much better condition. We have the early Beatles, $45. We have the Beatles 6. That is $30. And do have some writing on the cover. So that's all the rock and roll. I know that took a minute to go through. I'm sorry it took so long. I didn't imagine that it would take over maybe 20 minutes. Maybe I talked too long, or maybe it's just a lot of records to go through. I didn't even count all these up. But all I know is that that's a lot of money, a lot of value in records. Over $7,000 so far and counting. Guys, I got so much to go through. I got Motown, R&B, soul. I've got blues. I've got jazz. And I know you hear some of these, like you hear jazz, you don't think much. But I know one of those records already is a $500 record because I comped it as I was going. I've got lots of folk and country, and then which isn't going to be quite as valuable for the most part. But then I've also got a lot of Motown and just some really cool stuff and a huge stack of Elvis albums. So I'm looking forward to going through this, guys. I'm going to carry on that journey. The next time I record, we'll be going through another big stack, and I'll show you what the comps are. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Hope you got something out of it. Hope you at least were entertained by it somewhat. Don't ever forget, I love you, God loves you, and whatever you do, don't you ever give up. And I'll see you on the next one.